What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. One of the craziest weeks. We've come back from Africa. We've run around. We've done taxes. We've done everything we can think of this past week as far as our business. And something that I learned while I was doing one of the trainings was people not understanding, how bad credit can hurt you, and how some of the changes coming up are going to be really impactful. Um, a lot of folks thought, well, we've all been in this pandemic. We've been taking time off. It's been crazy. Every day this week, I've tried to either pay a bill or do something with all my bank accounts, and it's been crazy. And so, if you're here, drop a one in the comments or drop your city and state. That'd be super helpful. Part of why I'm doing a credit checkup for March, and you can grab the link in the description, is because I realized so many people in our calls and in our surveys, we've been sending surveys out to 15,000 emails on our list. We've been sending surveys out, and a lot of you have been requesting credit, requesting business credit, requesting funding. So we've done the past couple weeks a few different things that we thought would be helpful for the staff, the Classy Climbers community and staff, and however. But you guys tell me, right? So some of the things that are changing this year are the child tax credit. And many people are saying, well, Erica, why are you starting this off talking about taxes? Well, I'm starting it talking off about taxes because a lot of people make a decision based on this year, based on the taxes they will get back. Okay. Now, this is something that could easily push you forward a couple of ways: secure lines of credit, secure credit card. There's several things you could do to kind of push yourself in the right direction, or paying off certain types of debt. Let me see if it'll keep going down. Good. So, some of the things that many people say, well, why does it matter about taxes? Well, we're just starting there as a focal point. Child independent care, tax credit care, there's changes going to that this year. They've got several things. Earned income tax, a lot of people qualified all of a sudden for this year. And again, a lot of people are qualifying, and it's not that much. The maximum credit allowed for childless workers also plummets from 1,500 to 560. Now, maybe people say, why are they dropping it so low? What happened? You guys forgot they gave you a lot of those. They gave you during the PPP. They gave you credits. They gave you about $17,000, depending on the family, in credits for children, workers. They the government's coming back and bringing that money back. They're not going to freely let y'all have that. You got the recovery rebate credit. All right. A lot of businesses had issues. Remember, those checks were up to $1,400, right? And people thought, oh my God, we're going to get a third stimulus. No, you're going to get the form of a recovery rebate credit. Anytime there's issues in our government and they're trying to figure out, man, how can we get more of these people to do their taxes, fill out their tax reports? That's what's going to happen. You're going to see credits and incentives you can get, but not actual money. Okay. So tax brackets, there's slight changes to the tax bracket. Of course, again, they're adjusting it for inflation. Okay. Now let's go and bring it here. 2022 tax bracket for single slash married. As you can see, it slightly went up. As you see here, it's for a single person, it's $10,275 for the year. Think about that. There's somebody out there making $10,275 for the year. Okay. There, if you go up here to the 32%, where you're getting hit over the head, it's 170,000 to 215,000. If you're married, up to 340 to 431,000. Right. So again, there's slight changes due to inflation, but if you actually check this out, there's a lot of people paying under 22% taxable income. Under a lot of Americans, almost most Americans. Um, Let me know if this information is helpful for you. Put a one in the comments. Let me know if it's helpful, because I know some people are like, what? Huh? Okay. I see some ones. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. So again, back to what we're saying, why this is important, because a lot of people are going to use their tax check to do what? Now, we already know what most people are going to do. I would say they get a car. Every year around March, April, May, we see all these 30-day tags, get people getting cars. And some years we see people buying homes. They needed that extra to put them over the hump. And so this is why these things are important. Long-term capital gains tax rates slightly changed. Remember, it came in the door saying, hey, 20% rate. Okay. So again, 3.8 surtax on net investment income. That stays the same. But pay attention for those who are in retirement. Got some changes coming. All right. You also have standard deduction. They were increased because of inflation, of course. It used to be 25,100. Now it's 25,900. Which I'm like, I need a little bit more than that. That's a $800. That's the it. Let me see. Charitable gift deductions. Okay, you guys know that. It's up to $300, right? Above the line. A lot of people. Only person I've seen that had a huge tax issue here was Mitt Romney. I remember when they were like charitable deductions. Look at Mitt Romney. Again, he's Mormon. 1099K forms. Okay. Change is coming here, starting with 2022. The third party payment settlement networks, PayPal and Venmo, of course, have to send you the form 1099K if you did over $600. Previously, now this is why it's so different. Previously, the form was only sent if you received over $20,000 in gross payments and participated in more than 200 transactions. Uh, I recently had an issue with a person who I think we paid them $1,000 and they were freaking out. They didn't get their 1099. And I'm like, you have the exact number. Just write it into your taxes. Like even my accountants were like, are they crazy? I'm like, yes, they're a crazy person. But again, 1099K form for some people, that 20K they were making under the table via eBay, via PayPal, via Venmo. You know what I'm saying? It's going to hit you now. So that's why people said, "Oh, Erica, that doesn't matter. PayPal and Venmo ain't snitching, baby." There are a lot of people who were doing under 200 transactions and less than 20,000 a year, and now I got to report that. Okay. Now you still can do on here. It says you still can give your family money. Now it doesn't apply to them now, but I don't know if you guys noticed, but you can get about 13,000 a year as a financial gift to your family. And again, this ties close to the line of the 12,000 you give to your kids if they work for you. Okay. Retirement savings. There's some good news. They said again, the IRS has got some good news for y'all. Um, Not that big. It went from 19,500 to 20,500, which is $1,000, y'all. They really aren't really giving us any kind of breaks. They're not really, really doing anything. Now, adoption of a child. I'm gonna ask my friends on this. I'm gonna be nosy and I'm gonna ask them because they adopted a child. For 2022, the adoption credit can take up to 14,890 of qualified expenses. Okay. Full credit is available for special needs adoptions, even if it costs less. The credit begins to phase out when your income is over 223,000 a year. That's interesting. So if you're a wealthy family adopting kids, you don't even get no daggone break. That's crazy. So again, if you guys are planning on adopting any kids, I don't like this picture, but I'm just it is what it is. It's $14,890. Teacher expenses. Let me tell you something. If you was a teacher and you still was spending money during COVID, okay, that's too much. That's too much. COVID, that's for teachers. You got the kitty tax, of course. The first 1,150 of a child's unearned income is tax free. So your grandparents giving out gifts and donations and stuff, you're good to go. If you want to give out some donations all the way to your child is 24 years old, I kid you not, this literally says 18 to 24 years old. They're a full time student at 24. You can give them this money. Parking and transportation benefits. That's interesting. You only get $280 a month, right? It's not a big exclusion, but I guess for those up north who have to drive like that, it's important. Okay, you got bonds used for education. Okay, but when you start making over 128,000, ain't got nothing for you. None for you. Americans working abroad. This is a big one. Listen, if you're working abroad and have larger foreign income exclusion, it jumped from 108,000 to $112,000. Okay, because you used to be able to be like, oh, I'm overseas. I can't pay no monies. But no, they got you. Payroll taxes, again, It was a $4,200 hike. Look, they trying to get everybody. If your annual wage is 147,000, you got to pay some Social Security. Okay, that is what it is. Standard mileage rates. Okay, that's yeah. Long-term care insurance premiums. Okay. Why am I going over these again? These things are important for you, for those of you who are doing taxes. Remember, I told you about the health savings account, HSA. These things matter when you're doing your taxes. A lot of people think, well, here's my little form. Here's the amount I made. Boom, boom, boom. Give me some money. It's not gonna work like that this year. You're gonna have to really dig for it. Okay. Now they're gonna again, they only gave it a little increase. So you could put about 7,300 away for family coverage and 3,650 for just yourself. So again, I told y'all what I use my HSA for, and that's for massages and sauna treatments. Put it in your budget. You got to budget it. Flexible spending account, FSAs. Okay. For 2022, the limit on employee contributions of healthcare flexible spending. Okay. Workers can't contribute as much as dependent care, not as much, but families could sock away up to $10,500 without paying tax on those contributions. Okay. The normal limit used to be $5,000. Okay. So there's a lot of little ways y'all can get around this. Alternative minimum tax. Now, why they using that, man? Like, y'all look at this picture. They ought to be shamed. They ought to stop it. I'm trying to figure out why they got this sugar daddy picture over here like this. It's kind of funny. Okay. Anyway, alternative minimum tax, basically anywhere from 118,000 for couples and 73,000 for single folks. So again, they be hitting you with these little taxes now. Tax extenders. Okay. For those of you who, listen, it ain't getting done on time. They're giving us some breaks. Not really, though. They're giving some breaks to people who have new energy efficient windows, exterior doors, roof insulation, heating, and air conditioning systems. Now, I'm trying to figure out who was the lobbyist that was like, hey, get this in the bill. Like, there's a lobbyist out there somewhere that was like, hey, if they got an alternative fuel vehicle, property credit, if they got a two wheel plug-in electric vehicle credit, if they got on their house new efficient doors and windows credit. That's crazy, y'all. Somebody lobbied hard for that. Self-employed people, ding ding ding. All right, listen. It used to be a dollar threshold. It used to be the standard was 20%. You hear a lot of YouTubers when they start to make 100 grand off YouTube and AdSense, they be like, "Oh my god, they hit me with the 20K." They hit me with the 20K. You hear that from a lot of self-employed people that got hit with 20K. So it'd be like they make 100,000, they got hit with 20K right off the bat. Now it's starting to move around a bit, right? They're giving you some deductions. They're moving it around a bit. People can be smarter about it. Estate and gift taxes. Lifetime estate and gift exemptions went up. Okay. Now when people pass away, that's people be trying to give them some money. So look, I went over those because I want you to understand how this impacts you, and how a lot of people use that to help push their year off right. So, to our main conversation, we're about 13 minutes in. Yeah, we do need a flat tax for real. A lot of people are saying, Erica, why are we talking about credit? Listen, a lot of people are going to be, this is, I have a macro view video and a micro view. The macro view video, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a lot of people have to return to work, and they're going to be mad. But what's happened in this time frame in the past 2 years? It's their credit, right? If they haven't been paying their rent or they get evicted, stuff is happening. Um, yeah, YouTube's a hater, man. That's why I can't get 100 grand. They keep taking people off the thing. Um, damn, he called me dry. Thanks. Anyway, the whole point of what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is a lot of people are going to go back to work and have trouble getting a job. Not because they're not qualified, not because the place don't want to hire them, because they credit report is going to look crazy. It's going to look crazy. Okay? They're going to be so concerned, like, why am I not getting called back for these jobs? It's going to be their credit report. If you have companies reporting And again, if you have companies putting tax liens, that's why I keep talking to y'all about my tax lien course. North Carolina, the state of North Carolina, it does a thing every 8 years where they reassess the tax for all 100 counties. Well, they didn't do it during the pandemic. They didn't do it in 2021. Now they're doing it this year. They're like, we've got to do it. So you're going to have all these people that get reassessed. And when they put tax liens on your credit, this is part of the incentive why people pay their tax bill. When they put them tax liens on your credit, and you trying to go to the bank get money, or you trying to go get a new car, or you're trying to do something different, you can't do it. You can't do it because you have a tax lien on your credit. So on the Wednesday training I have coming up, we're going to show like three major techniques and walk you through it step by step on how to get some of this stuff off your credit, how to fix your report. Because some of y'all don't know that this summer, because of the pandemic, yep, this is what's happening. Honey, they got to check it. They have to check your credit. You know why? So many times people work with cash registers, equipment in the back. I remember being a teenager working at Best Buy in high school. There was an older black man, and all of a sudden one day stuff kept getting missing. Stuff kept getting ghost, like missing, 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 and they were trying to figure out who was doing it. Now they had just assumed it was us, the teenagers over there at Best Buy. Finally, when they watched the cameras, it was the older black guy. They ran his background check, and old boy had like a years, like he was a seasoned criminal. That's the best way to say it. A lot of stuff was 10 years old, and they were giving him a break when they hired him because they didn't check because he was older. But that's why they don't let nobody slide no more. They got to start checking backgrounds. And also, I'm just going to go there, the quality of worker you're going to get for under 40,000, they're going to start checking them backgrounds. You know what I mean? So this is a big thing. Your credit, this article talks about your credit report can keep a job, keep you from getting a job. This is very true. They're going to use this. I know people don't like this, but they're going to use this a lot. Um, they're just going to try to figure out a way to weed out certain people, right? So again, the survey found that 72% of employers conduct a background check on all employees they hire, and those cases, 29% do credit check reports. Now, if 72% do a background check and 29% do a credit, now that was before, right? This is right before the pandemic. What do you think they're going to be doing now? They are going to be checking everything. Why? Because we had let so many people slide through. If Hertz is checking your credit before you rent a car from them, and they'll hit you with a $500 if you use your debit card, or they hit you with the $200 hold if you use your credit card, you think these employers aren't checking folks? Now it says, listen, they won't check your credit without your knowledge. They need your written permission first. In some states, they don't have to. How many people have filled out a application and didn't realize it said, "Hey, we're gonna run your background," right? So again, people were nervous because they're saying, "Oh, they're checking my credit score." No, 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 they're not checking your credit score. They're checking your credit report, right? And if the report comes with the scores, it is what it is. But there are actual systems. When I worked in apartment management, we used Yardi, and Yardi would check your background. It would look for you with evictions, any foreclosures, any bankruptcies, and that's on a lot of apartment applications now. So this is why all these people getting put out for Section 8 out in Cobb County. There's a reason that video is at 51,000 views right now, because a lot of people just assume, hey, times are bad, so what? I'll just go get on Section 8 or government housing. Those people don't have to accept you no more. And it's a lot of it is your credit. Now, this thing, the way the article puts this is trying to clean it up, but it's like patterns of money mismanagement, like a bunch of missed payments or multiple collection accounts could wind up hurting your odds of scoring a position, especially those involving cash or access to sensitive financial information, company accounting, or government work. That's why it's a good idea to review your credit reports ahead of a job search. Now, let me read that back again. Company accounting or government work, financial information. Now, there's a bevy of jobs out there that somebody could say, well, you have access to people's financial information. Number one thing I tell my students to get is E&O insurance, which is errors and omission. Paid 200 for the year and keep it moving for the 10K coverage. Why? Because if somebody at your job steals people's information, or they had their information leaked on the dark web, people can come back and sue your company, but not if you get the errors and omissions. You'd be like, I hired this person in good faith. I checked their background and I didn't know they were tripping like this. That's where errors and omissions comes in. That's why it's so important. And this is why on Wednesday we'll teach a lot of strategies to make sure you guys are checking your credit and cleaning it yourself. You don't have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, here's the problem. A lot of people aren't consistent or they're impatient. That's some of the things we'll go over in Wednesday's training. All right, here's the other one. This is important. This is why we're talking about cleaning your credit. 70% of medical collection debt will soon be removed from credit reports and it could boost your score. So this is supposed to happen this summer, y'all. Knock on wood, whenever the government says something about to happen, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Hold on, let me see. Y'all got a lot of comments. Yeah, NC, listen, HVAC Mike, no, they're going to check you, baby. They're going to check you. Those folks, where is it at here? Those folks who didn't pay rent for years and not getting jobs in financial services or handling, oh yeah, they not at all. At all. Tara Monette says, my current job randomly checks mine because I have a TS clearance. This is very important, y'all. Like y'all, a lot of y'all don't think your jobs have aren't that important or you're just shuffling paperwork. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. If you can't manage your own money, you're at risk for most institutions, especially with cyber attacks being rampant. Yes, Mary, this is why this is going to be such a big thing. I know y'all be like, man, why are you talking about this? But I'm telling you this, most companies can't afford to have full cybersecurity staff, full compliance staff. So they're just going to make the effort to not hire you. And a lot of people think, oh, everybody's out here in these big companies. No, 32 million out of 38 million businesses in America have under the 400 employees, y'all. A lot of them have under 100. So you're not working for these big name nobodies. Like it's smaller companies. Even IBM broke into two. And they took a segment of their people and put them off in another company. So IBM, this big bad boy, is broken in two. What you think gonna happen to a lot of these smaller companies? I told y'all what happened when Barack Obama was in office. They had this rule about they were going to tax and this extra tax on companies that made $1 million. Well, the first thing people said is, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna break the company into four, and each one of the segments of the company is gonna make 250,000, and that's it. Now people say, oh, ain't nobody doing all that, but they are. Think about it. If somebody has a marketing department, a receiving department, this department, they could easily create four companies under one person and be in the same office and just break the company up. I've seen people do it. I've seen this guy have this is where the insurance sales department is. Over here, he owns a collection agency that just handles phones and they buy debt. It's possible. People do it all the time. You think Walmart's doing it? Yes, Walmart's doing it where they have sales, accounting, warehousing. They have it broke up into many smaller companies, right? If you go on here and look at Santander's broken up into many smaller companies. These smaller guys are going to do the same thing. So they don't have time to say, well, we're going to give her a chance. Unless you're family, they're not going to do it. Okay, Renaissance Cookie. What do you think about movement to make it illegal for employers to do background checks? It's not going to happen. You know why? Because every couple of months in the news, somebody gets hurt at a kid's daycare. Somebody's credit is stolen. Somebody's car stolen from dealerships. Random stuff like that is happening, especially with the rampant. And I think I have a video coming up next week with the rampant people stealing home title information, right? Home lock insurance is up on the rise. A lot of people are having to lock their identity. Kids' identity theft is going up. It's no incentive to employers to let you be at their office without a background check. And so I'm just trying to let y'all know, like, they really are going to start going hard on this. I don't want to work to anyone who can't pass a background check. There you go. All three-letter agencies insurance check your credit. This is facts. Yeah, they gas on credit right now. IBM hiring for security and DevOps. I'm telling you, it's big right now. My homeboy didn't pay his rent during that period and has to go to court. They called the bank to get his records for that period of time. Steven, there it's a no holds bar because you got to realize the government sent billions of dollars in aid. Now these towns and cities are slow getting these landlords the aid. right? That's not your fault if you apply for the aid, right? They're slow getting these landlords the aid. So now the government got to be like, well, somebody got to pay attention. We got to hit somebody over the head, right? It's not our fault. All the aid ain't been out. If you ain't paid, if you ain't tried to pay, they ain't playing with y'all. They ain't playing with y'all. Okay. So again, this is a big thing this summer. They are supposed to have 70% of medical collection debt should be removed. This is why I'm teaching on the Wednesday training about zombie debt and debts that keep coming back up. How are we going to get rid of those? How are we going to fix those? Okay. So the three major reporting agents announced Friday, right? This is a joint. Hey, we're working together for Americans. Really, they got beat up. They will strip 70% of medical debt information out of consumers' credit reports starting July 2022. Everybody put that in your calendar. July 2022. Some of y'all gonna get a good little 50 point bump. Okay. The Bureau's Equifax TransUnion experience said that medical collection debt will no longer appear on credit reports if that debt has already been paid. You see how they played that part? Let me read that back to you. It will no longer appear on your credit report if that debt has already been paid. So the deal has already been they already made the deal. If it's paid, we ain't gonna do it. Well, what if you already paid it and now zombie debtors came back and saying you didn't pay it? They ain't got to remove it. So this is why I'm teaching this credit class, and this is why I'm doing the live training on Wednesday, because I know a lot of y'all not gonna pay attention. Y'all gonna just assume, well, they said it's coming off. You gotta put the foot on their neck, and it's not them old techniques. I got three good techniques in there. We're gonna show work, and I want you guys to use them. So agencies are also increasing how long it takes for that debt to appear on your consumer report from 6 months to 1 year. So think about that. Okay. Think about that. What happens in 6 months to a year? If you think something fell off and you know you got to pay the bill, 6 months to a year, you don't forgot about it. So now it's on your credit report. You forgot about it and it then got hit you, right? You're not going to remember to complain about it. They will also remove unpaid medical collection debt from reports if it's less than 500. Do you know how many people I know that have like a bunch of little $350, $500 dental bill stuff? A lot. Okay. One of the agency's regulators, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, has been considering a ban on medical debt before they even announced it. The CFPB was like, hey, we about to hit their legs. So now they like, no, we're going to get rid of it. We're going to get rid of it. Okay. So as of second quarter, 58% of medical bills that were in collections on people's credit records were medical bills. So almost 60%, right? So they said, listen, these medical debt collections were less predictive of future payment problems than other debts like mortgage and car. But think about that. If you get hit with a medical emergency and you're late on your car in your house, it's because of the medical emergency. But now they're trying to play like, nah, there's no reason. Nearly 1 in 10 Americans carry over $250 in medical debt. And people of color are disproportionately affected by medical debt. Okay? Y'all got to be up on your stuff. So it says, for instance, a collection debt in your credit report can decrease your credit score as much as 110 points. The credit score is what lenders use to qualify you for loans, houses, cars, etc. You guys know that. Okay. The removal will help people who have paid medical collection debt increase their credit scores, especially for older FICO models that are used that were required for federally backed mortgages. Now let's dice that up. They're saying if it's paid, right? So if it's unpaid, they really ain't gonna do no work. They ain't doing no new work. And what happens is a lot of times people say, "Well, I tried to make a agreement with them, and I agreed to pay it for them to remove it off my credit." Well, guess what? They don't care, right? They don't care. They gonna play with the get along. They gonna play with the get along. Okay. All right. So there's that. All right. Let me go to this one. Again, this is businesswire.com. I know y'all be asking, where the links at? Where the links, Ericka? Businesswire.com. Look it up. I ain't doing it for you. Equifax experience. Basically, this is just the article supporting it. Business Wire has really good information. It's a Berkshire Hathaway company. I want y'all to understand a lot of these companies. Berkshire Hathaway is a what? Real estate company. Berkshire Hathaway is what? It's also this stock company, and it just owns arms after arms after arms of company. You gotta pay attention, y'all. So if you go to the actual front part of Business Wire, you can submit a press release, just so y'all know. Okay. Just just a little something for y'all out there for companies, just to give you a heads up. Okay. So can you be not denied a job for bad credit? Again, this is more information on this. Okay. Yes, you can be denied a job with bad credit because 39 states and the District of Columbia. Think about that. 39 states and DC, Chocolate City, where it used to be, basically said, hey, we can do that. We can deny you because of bad credit. Only 11 states banned the practice. They said, that's enough. No, we will not have this. Okay. So think about that. 39 states are like, we don't care. Let me tell you which states banned it. And you already know the ones. You already know what states banned it, but they still doing it. California, Connecticut, the one with Hartford in it. Hawaii, Illinois, I say it however I want to say it, y'all. Maryland, Oregon, Vermont, Delaware, Nevada, Colorado, Washington. They ban employers from discriminating based on credit. Now let's just go here. If I look up your credit, I see it's wild and crazy. I'm gonna find something else to not hire you on. That's all that is. Even though they banned it. Now they said, listen, the ban does come with some exemptions now. A common one is financial institutions that require handling money. Now, y'all, almost every place, every business, there is some degree of handling money. Are we right? Are we right? Almost every company. Okay. An employer must get your written permission to check your credit report, and they must tell you before they do so. You have a right to refuse a credit pull by an employer, but you won't be hired if you do. So let's go there again. You have a right to say, no, thank you, don't pull my credit, but you won't be hired if you do. So, I mean, again, what sense does that make? Now, of course, this article says nice things. Hey, start rebuilding your credit. Get a secure card. Consistently pay your bills on time. Ain't that what they trying to do by getting a job so they can pay their bills on time? I just I just thought that was ridiculous when I read it. Okay. Where's the other one I have? I might not have it. Let me go back in here. Boom. Okay. Okay. Where am I at? Listen, Mary, it just people ain't trying to hear that though. People are not trying to hear that because I'm gonna show you. There's one of the best selling books in America. Every year it sells like crazy. This person, I want to know how rich they are, because this book has been selling, selling, selling forever. Let me get it out of here. Get out of here. Okay, hold on. Well, it'd be probably good if I share my screen. Y'all can see what I'm talking about. Mm-mm-mm. This book right here came out January 2010. Okay, January 2010. What happened around January 2010, y'all? What happened? 2009, 2008. It was the Great Recession. Now, part of why I'm doing this credit thing and also talking about this is in some of my private videos I have coming out this weekend for members of the Classic Climb, I talk about there's going to be a huge increase of for sale by owner. So I got a whole video talking about for sale by owner, because for sale by owner, I drove by 7 places that were RV places talking about sale by owner, motorcycle places, pickup truck places. There was a place called Yoda Toyota or something like that. I mean, the whole lot was buy there, pay there. Then there was a foreign cars, Mercedes Benz, BMWs, buy there, pay there. You're going to see an increase of that. You're going to see that with houses. You're going to see that with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people saying, well, what happens in housing? They're not going to be the housing crash y'all think. A lot of these people, investors that own these properties, they're going to turn around and do for sale by owner, and they'll have the money. It's happening like crazy in Georgia. I did a whole video for the private YouTube members on it, so you should see it tomorrow. But this book right here, Living Well with Bad Credit, buy a house, start a business, even take a vacation, no matter how low your credit score is. Y'all, this book has been a number, like I can't remember if it's number one or just like a big ass seller for years. For years. I go into the bookstore, Barnes and Noble, it's always in there. It from 2010, it's always in there, y'all. This book done sold and sold and sold and sold and sold. It's up there, y'all. Top, it's in the top 100 books. Number 754 in credit and rating and repair. This book's been a hitter for years. Okay. And you're gonna see more people who just go, well, how can I get around it? They're gonna try to get around it. That just is what it is. Big seller, y'all. This book's a big seller. Let me go ahead and read y'all comments. We have to build our own infrastructure. Well, there's a lot of ways to do that, but people don't want to hear it. Um, the number one thing is blue collar services. Pastor Dow, as much as I joke about Pastor Dow on YouTube here, their whole community are a bunch of construction people. They build stuff, they build it all. That you cannot block someone who can build and repair their own house. It's real hard. That's why I keep telling y'all handyman services, that's gonna be a huge one. What's the best company to get credit lock? A lot of them do great credit lock services. I'm recommending to people who take the class Identity IQ, but that is what it is. That's the whole point. If it's not paid, it stays. You know what I mean? That's the crazy part of it. It's all because of our bailout system. People feel like the government will bail people out. This is true. People did do that. I'm not surprised. There are a lot of people who believe the government was gonna pay their rent. A lot of people. Chocolate. Hey, perfect question. If they evict all these people who haven't paid rent, where are they going to go? Guess where? Trailer parks, mobile home parks. Why did Blackstone just buy thousands of mobile home parks? Why is mobile home elite? Why is their class selling like gangbusters? I promise you, I spent maybe 3 weeks looking at mobile home parks and where to purchase, where to go. The opportunities were endless. I did a whole video, Chocolateholic, I guess that's what you have on your phone, your name. I did a whole video talking about people do two things. They either say, let me go make some more money so I can live in this nicer apartment area. Let me go do this so I can live over there. Or they go, honey, we got to save 200, 300 bucks. How can we save 200, 300 bucks? They're going to move further out or into trailer parks. That is just what it is. Because you have levels to trailer parks. You have trailer parks in Florida that are on the beach. You got mobile home parks that are nice and clean. But usually the common denominator is they are cheaper. So in Texas, they just had all these judges in Houston basically be like, "We're not doing this, y'all. There's too many people evicted." They had 20,000 evictions filed. Most of these apartment complexes are going to have to work with these people, figure out a solution, or you're gonna see a lot more trailer park. I'm not even being funny, y'all. Like right now, I drove to near Killeen, and there was a trailer park. I had never seen it before because they cleared the lot beside it. Well, the people selling the lot, who's going to buy that lot? They aren't going to go build brand new construction homes on that lot because guess what? There's a giant 40 trailer park to the side of it. What's going to happen is another person's going to buy that land and make it an RV park or another trailer park. That just is how it is. Most government jobs won't. Yeah, and that's been a big saver for people is government jobs. Working at the post office is a big deal. I know people think it's not, but it is. Working at the post office, working in school systems, driving the bus at the school, working at the prisons, that's a big one. Look, see, Benedict says, I know for a fact Maryland company run credit for back. I'm telling you, they're gonna get around it if they can. A lot of medical bills on credit reports due to insurance billing areas. Yes. They can file the claim late. They can put in the wrong info and the claim is rejected. Then it's to the collections. Thank you so much, Jabras. This is very accurate information. And there's 216 people here. If you like the conversation so far, drop a one in the comments. You guys see my voice is still a little cracky, but I'm trying to come back with the energy. Laziness is the new comfort for Americans. My big thing when I went to Africa, whoo, and I saw how people was living. And I know people make fun of it like, oh, everybody ain't trying to come to America. But America's one of the easiest places to come and make money. You know what I mean? Like literally the Haitian driver that quit on that team driver that I had before he came with me. He was like his friend saved up $40,000 driving a semi truck as team drivers and went back home to Haiti and was like, peace out. Peace out. He gonna live well for years, well, especially when they only paying 50 cents to a dollar an hour for work in Haiti, and he's able to take 40 grand back home. He's out of here. He ain't coming back. That's the same thing I saw in Africa. People like, oh, I'm gonna live in Mexico. It's a very American perspective to be like, the American dream's dead. I'm gonna go live somewhere else. You gonna go live in somebody else's country with a credit card and money in your pocket. It's almost a joke. Most of the videos I watch on people saying the American dream is dead. Most of them sound like they lost. They're overspent, maxed out their credit cards, huge student loan debt. They don't have no defined goal on what American dream is, and they're basically like zombie walking. And then wake up and be like, the American dream is dead. I'm not chasing it no more. I give up. Well, you were never really chasing it. You never had a goal. Most of these people videos I watch, the first thing they talk about is like, oh my God, it costs so much. Everything costs so much. I'm moving to Mexico. Okay, so let's say you move to Mexico and your bills are 1,500 a month. Again, that's very American entitled to be like, well, I can just work remotely for 10 bucks an hour and cover my bills in Mexico. Like that's not even planning for any excess, any retirement. That's very much living in the moment. And I see a lot of people making these videos like, I'll give up on American Dream. And then when I watch them, I say, I see why. They're usually a low performer, not always. They're usually not married. They usually don't have kids. Our system really don't have nothing for you to do. Like just being real honest, our system is really built for families. It's really built for families or people that serve families in some kind of integral way. What people don't understand is Spencers used to be women who basically Spencers were people who could tailor and made enough money to live independently. And they were named Spencers, and it was a day like, oh, they're Spencers, right? Even then, most families, if you ever go watch Downtown Abbey or any of these older TV shows, themed TV shows, there's always a single sister or an ugly sister, however you want to say it. One of the sisters is ugly. She stays and helps with all the kids because nobody married her. Now you move that to America, 1920s, 1910s, 1900s. There was always a woman who was a school teacher in a town, right? She usually was very intelligent and single. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, there's a reason people are complaining about the American dream because they're really not plugged in anywhere or any kind of way. So I've been watching these videos and I've been kind of laughing. There's one girl who's like, I graduated college and my debt and the American dream is dead. And then she stands in front of a brand new Jeep Cherokee. Do you know how much Jeep Cherokees cost? So you went and got a brand new Jeep Cherokee on top of student loan debt and is complaining because now you have to pay that debt back. Now she's a beautiful girl. I'm not even gonna front. I saw her, I was like, damn girl, you ought to just start taking pictures for the internet. Because some dude's gonna marry her. You know what I'm saying? Help her pay her bills. It just is what it is. And so you know, Tourette, this book has been a bestseller since 2010. Almost as good as Old Boy's book, um, the Debt Cures book that came out during the pandemic. And they that book as a infomercial sold $50 million. Think about that. Debt cures at the height of the pandemic, the height of 2009, um, the Great Credit Recession, whatever you want to call it, the Great Recession or whatever. So that's what I'm telling y'all. It's out there. Yeah, John. There's only one copy left. They still having to print this book. They probably mad they still printing this book. Yep. Yep. It really does, unfortunately. I mean, honestly, I think what happens is people write books for people to have a solution. There's probably a lot of people who are really frustrated in their situation. And this is part of why I say, you have to have a plan. You know what I mean? I'm not saying stress your life out without what you're gonna do, how you're gonna invest. But the number one people that invest in real estate investing are 35 to 55 years old. And the reason that is because they figured it out like, oh, I'm getting older. What am I do with this surplus money? I got elderly parents and I got kids coming underneath me. And that's where that whole, investing comes from. Lisa Phillips, I was on her live a couple days ago or a day or two ago, and she was the original person talking about buying houses for $30,000. And people are like, "Oh, they're in the war zones, they're in terrible places." And no, just earlier today I was on realtor.com and I looked in old parts of Ohio, Indiana, there were still houses for 50, 60,000. Again, if 48% of all homes were purchased in the Southeast, there's a bunch of cheap homes in the Midwest and Oklahoma and Topeka, Kansas and Macon, Georgia, and all these places that people should be buying as a starter home. But in our society, in this American dream, however you want to call it, people decided, well, I don't want a starter home. I want the biggest, best home I can get. So it leaves all these surplus homes. People like Lisa Phillips and her staff and folks buy them. We only need 10K down to close it. It's a pretty good thing. Oh yeah, Pastor Dow ain't playing. They building houses, they going construction. You can't stop a group of people that do construction. I don't know how to explain this to y'all. Like there's a reason Hispanic folks be killing it with the monies. It's construction. Right now, everybody I've run into for the survey, the appraiser, to even clear the land. I had in Temple, well, I have it in Temple, and then two other places. It's all Hispanic folks. The two or three black guys I run into will be like, "Hey, what's the budget you want?" Well, brother, if I tell you the budget, you're gonna just quote me the budget. Like you got to quote, you just got to bid. And I understand why they're frustrated because they're probably getting outbid all the time. But I was like, brother, if I tell you the bid, you just bid that amount. Terry the electrician, this is facts. They do well. I have an older course. I gave y'all a discount on it for like I think $200 off. Not many people bought it. I think like 20 people bought it. I was like, okay, maybe people don't want it, but that's why I'm gonna teach this class on Wednesday, live training, help y'all walk through it so I can figure out how to do it. Second chance rentals, yeah, that's why people love when they see that little red and white sign for sale or for rent by owner. People love it. Some of that. Trailers, big money. They're big money right now. When I drove in Dallas, leaving the DFW airport, and there were all these for sale by owner or buy here, pay there RVs and trailers, fifth wheels. I said, man, that's crazy. Because I can go on Facebook Marketplace right now, and the average fifth wheel is like 11 to maybe $25,000. So they know you ain't got 11 to 25,000. They know you don't got it. So you're gonna come over there with your 2 or 3 grand and give them some money and make payments on that thing for who knows how long. Who knows how long? There is a market, yes. Mortgage space, maybe HOA, still cheaper than some rents. Yeah. Yep. It will always be in high demand. It will always be in high demand because if you really read some of the comments on these videos in Florida and Georgia, even in the video I did on Section 8, y'all, you know how many people are calling saying we should just take these people's properties if they won't rent to Section 8. Crazy stuff. I'm like, you can go live in the projects for free. Why should I live in the projects for free? That's the point of Section 8. And I'm like, because you want to live in someone's house for free. That's why. Right? So low income housing will always have a place. I told y'all about my cousin in Fayetteville. The lady from New York came down to help with her mother. And she always said, well, I'm going back to New York. I'm going back to New York. She lived in my cousin's house for 15 years. And she was like, the rent is just so low. My cousin was like changing it every year. He was moving it up $50 here every year. And she was just like, it's so low, but I'm gonna go back to New York. Now I'm not dissing New York. I know there's affordable rent in New York and whatnot in some places, but I was like shocked. I was like, she been here 15 years. 15 years renting from the same person. So there's people always gonna be moving. You're gonna have a lot of like I'm just gonna say it, you're gonna get mad at me, single ladies who will move further south. The Hallmark Channel be convincing you can move to the South in a little town and find a man and get married. They be doing that. But they're gonna move south for cheaper rent with their pets and keep it pushing. They don't do that. That's what they're gonna do. Okay, I'm glad to see y'all like this. There is a huge market for mobile home investing. Huge market. Listen, not even just Africa. When I go to parts of Mexico, and I'm like, is that a house? The hell? I'm supposed to go with a group to Panama. Now I went to Belize and I was like, they at least had the center blocks. where we were at in Belize. They were putting them center blocks together to put the house together. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Now they work the call centers because they speak English for $12 an hour. And where they at, that's like the best job. Man, you work a call center job. You getting $12 an hour? Yeah. Because it's not tourism, because tourism goes up or down. And something I'm noticing is when you look at other countries, you have to sell every day. It sells every day. That's why these people come over here and just clean up because it sells every day where they at. It sells every day. But only in America do we be like, oh man, sales jobs. I don't want no sales job. But everybody want to be a realtor. What do you think a realtor is? It's a sales job. So there's kind of this, and Lisa Phillips talked on it. She was saying how you're going to start seeing a lot of third country living here in America. And I think what she meant on that is they're just going to be people in really low wage jobs. They're going to rent really crappy locations. And that's just going to be their life. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Two of our friends have properties in DC, like fourplexes, and they rent it out to like basically low income men, almost on the borderline of homeless. And the thing is, they can never have a woman move in. I know this sounds crazy, but they're one bedroom apartments, and some of them get government assistance. And so part of their restrictions, they can't have a woman move in or children move in. So it's just these older, elderly men with nobody to check on them. Y'all, that's gonna be a lot of folks. That's gonna be a lot of folks. You know. John said, "I plan to go overseas to chase women too young for me." Hey, John, get going on it. You got to get over there. Evicted is a great book that talks about social issues of peoples on families once they're evicted. Yes, I know that book. I know that book. Type it in there. I'll type it in. Hold on. And what happens is people get real smart with you. When I worked in apartment management, I'll go here, I'll do this, and I'd be like, "Well, go ahead and go." And I knew they couldn't do it because once you have that eviction on your record, honey, that thing mess you up. That messes you up. It really does. Like I told y'all so many times. When I hold on, let me put this over here. We do like this. Yeah. Where's the book? Where's the thing? Okay, let me do it like this. I'm struggling here. The voice is struggling. We're trying to come back. We're losing the voice again. Okay, this is the book he's talking about. Evicted: The Poverty and Profit in American City. 9 times out of 10, it's the weirdest stories, right? Oh, something was happening with me, something this happened, that happened, and they can never get ahead. But 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, won't you move further out? Why are you trying to live in the city? And just like when we watched that video of that woman making 100K with her and her husband, talking about they don't even live in Dallas, they live in Plano. Honey, make your life. Make your life, go on and live your life. It's a very quick road to be destabilized. Very quick. So, oh man, listen, look at the review. Somebody already mad. Somebody already mad. This is a prime example. 40 years experience as a blue collar small town landlord. All right. I started out as a compassionate, trusting person, willing to work with people and help them achieve stability. As a result, I've had people tell me their kitchen cabinets got stolen, had someone give a friend a storm door to the apartment because their friend liked it, driven someone to an apartment to view it and had her evicted out later due to non-payment, relocated a tenant to another affordable apartment she agreed to work on. Wow, that's great. All while they lost 60,000 in the process. If you're providing housing as a business, the owners need to make a profit. If it's a charity, then it should be run as such. To demonize landlords for needing to make a profit for their time, expertise, investment, and energy is unfair. Walmart, car companies, and other businesses need to make a profit to survive and grow. Nobody goes into Walmart and says, I'll pay you half and come back in a week with the balance and expects cooperation. But a partial rent payment is supposed to be okay. The fact that negates the ability to evict that month seems to get lost in the shuffle. If the rent is $700, if I accept $10 as the rent first, I cannot evict for non-payment because the rent has been paid. Damn. There exists a segment in the population of people that simply do not respond positively to assistance. Yes, providing some assistance feels good, but self-esteem and self-confidence comes from earn and within. Assistance tends to be decentivized the recipient and deprive them of the opportunity to feel good about themselves. Dang, he pissed. He pissed. But he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. I can tell you right now, there's a song, Harry Hippo by Bobby Womack. My grandma used to play that song all the time. And I used to think, why is she always playing the song? And basically, the song is talking about people who are on heroin. But it also talks about a woman who tells you a sob story about her man and her kids, and she ain't got no money, and you want to help her. But you realize you can't help somebody while they laying on the ground. Essentially, the song is like, people got to help themselves. And y'all, I can tell you right now, as a person who had I had a problem with a car go out one time. I had an apartment, a car, and all these things go out at one time. And I was working like a crazy person, 2, 3 jobs. And I remember this guy going, "I'm helping you just because I see you trying to help yourself so damn bad." And it was like a little bit of turn in the income, boom. And that's why I'm always saying it's a math problem. You meet a lot of these people, and there's studies on it that when somebody is in a survival mode, like the rats are in survival mode, they do like if there's cheese or something dangerous, like in the mousetrap, they go grab it because it's like a YOLO, you only live once kind of mentality. But a lot of these people don't understand, they're making decisions at 30, and they in their 50s, and it's bad. Mexico is expensive when you live in the safest and most popular areas. Yeah, yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. I don't know which one. Dang, 50 million. Yeah, 50 million. Yeah, it's bad. Yes, that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it is. They're trying to find a tribe of complainers and like, yeah, America's hard. And I'm like, have you been out of this country? Sh- sh- Like it's like every time I'm gonna say this, and y'all can think ugly of me. When I went to Africa, people say, "Oh, you trying to find a husband over there? You trying to find a husband?" I went over there. I'm like, baby, half these people ain't got their teeth. I ain't trying to find no husband over here. I ain't trying to buy teeth. That's crazy. I ain't trying to do that, right? Like, but I see where people, a lot of men make this incentive, like I'm gonna go overseas and go get somebody who's in poverty, and I'm gonna trick on them, and I'm like, that's sad. That's really sad, brother. Right? There's one guy I follow on Instagram. He's a chef, and if he sees this, hey, no disrespect. He's in Colombia, and he's like, ugh. He's in Medellin. He's like, all these white Colombians are not nice. He's like, I'm gonna go to this other part where the black Colombians are. So think about that. He left America. He was in Houston, which is very black at some places, and was like, I'm gonna go to Colombia. Gets to Colombia, realizes it's like any other city, it's like any other place, it's like any other town. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to make friends, make community, and guess where he's going? To the black poorest out of town to do so. So again, a lot of people think I'm gonna hop over in somebody else's country, you know, not learn the language, live well. That's my only issue with nomad capitalists. Some of them people think they're gonna go over there and flash that they're an American somewhere, and people just going, "Oh yes, this is so wonderful." Okay, a lot of these contracts were signed and already paid for. Just have to find who bought it and call them on it. I may have lost you. Where you at on that? With my employer for over 6 years, I got a promotion to a different department. I had to get updated on a background check and credit pull prior to interviewing. Yeah. It said Florida, the home of trailer park. Oh no, honey. You've got to come to uh Oklahoma. Good gracious. Western societies are made for bachelors and spinsters. Not really. Like, unless you have an integral part in our society. So oh, you said are not made. Yes, they are not made. They really aren't. They aren't made for. They don't have integral stuff for you to do. Yes, I'm telling you, this is a common thing I'm seeing in the comment space. 3 times the rent. That's insane. So if the rent's 1,500 and someone says 3 times the rent, that means 4,500. Well, of course that's insane to her. That doesn't make sense. But most people got to realize if it's two of you, it's two people working together, y'all can afford that. You know what I mean? So they can really slap a beautiful house together in 2 weeks. They really can. I just saw the Rochelle Ward interview, was blown away on what handyman work. I mean, handyman work, man. I will rent to low income, but not someone who is trifling. Again, it depends on the person, right? 9 times out of 10, I feel like you have older women. Like I remember one of the people that rented from our family, they drove a school bus and worked in the cafeteria. And she was a hardworking lady. She just couldn't afford expensive rent. That's fine, right? You just got to make good choices on it because at some point you will not be able to work. I could live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, in a $2,100, 200K, really nice home, about thousand a month on my VA loan. That's cheaper than renting an apartment in Minneapolis. Yeah, that's true. I cannot. I'm not gonna go there. I cannot. Yeah, I don't blame public schools. I really blame parents, and people get mad at me when I do that. But if you really look at the amount of time a child spends with their parent when they come home, they don't spend a lot of time, and they copy and mimic what their parents do. So watch out now. My stepdad's sister sold her brownstone in New York and now lives in an apartment in Fayetteville. Why she live in an apartment? She can get a whole 4 bedroom, 3 bath house for like 150, 200. That's crazy. But I've met a lot of New Yorkers who did that. And part of that too is the rent's so cheap in North Carolina and parts of North Carolina that they could rent like forever, you know. She's okay. So then, but no one wants to buy a trailer on top of that. They depreciate fast. So buy the trailer park and sell the unit to rent the dirt. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. But essentially, yes. Like if you have a land and you shape up the lots and have the little connectors for the power and water, yeah, you people bring their trailers with them. Or you can start with a requirement for certain types. Now, in North Carolina, a lot of the trailer places that sell trailers, if you got the land, they don't charge to transport it. They'll bring it to you and hook it up. We already talked about that. We're done talking about medical bills. Well, here's the thing. What's the definition of no jobs? And I'm always very careful on that. What's the definition of no jobs? Because nurses getting paid, doctors, lawyers, welders, construction folks, people with skills get paid and have jobs anywhere they go. Michigan too, right? So, I really get tired of hearing that. Like, there's no jobs there. No, there's no jobs where you're gonna walk in and no qualifications, no skills, and get paid at 60K a year. No, there's none of that. That's nowhere. That's nowhere anymore. You're not gonna do that anywhere. Most places have low inventory. This is true. This is true. Stop. Nah, they ain't gonna get them Russian women tomorrow. They gonna get them Ukrainian women. But you can go there now. Russia's issue right now is Russia's always had more women than men for a while now. Russia had a lot of fetal alcohol syndrome children for adoption through the 80s and 90s. And I remember this woman adopted a kid and he was so violent, she flew him back on a plane by himself back to Russia from the United States. And ever since then, Russia stopped the Americans from adopting Russian babies. And I'm like, well, first of all, you need to let somebody know this baby gonna be a problem. You know what I mean? But that's where people, for me, same thing when people adopted South Korean children. I'm like, there are children here in the United States that can be adopted. People need to get serious about their housing. No one else is going to do it for them. Facts and facts. They're getting hip to these people, these fake paycheck stuff. They really are. They not playing the fake paycheck stuff no more. If you don't have a residence, how do you apply for a job, put kids in school, get any benefits? Easy. I remember when I first moved to Texas, I didn't have my apartment set up, and I got a PO box. Went over there, paid $20 for 6 months to have a PO box, and then the United States Postal Service in every city and town in the whole United States, it'll have a street address. You put the street address and the unit number, and you apply for whatever you need. You think I'm joking? That's what Ericka Williams did when she was in Killeen, and they were like, "You got your apartment?" I'm like, "No," and I went. Drove down to Austin, got a USPS box, and put the street address down and the unit number of the PO box, and never had a problem getting the mail. Never had a problem getting my driver's license. Never had a problem doing any of it. Now there are some systems that will check to see if it is your actual address or it's an actual physical address. But overall, nah. When homeless people say, "Oh, I'm homeless and I can't do this," I'm like, "Honey, $20 gets you a PO box." and you have a address for 6 months that you can check with your key, and you can apply for stuff. But people don't want to hear that. Oh, no problem, John. Listen, hey, do what you feel, baby. No, you didn't, Mary. Mary went there, y'all. She said, listen, you got to know your market. An average girl in NYC is Beyonce in Wallahoochee, Georgia. He won't be Jay-Z, but he'll have a pension and a paid off house on family land. Listen, that girl that made that video about pretty privilege, she's from Houston and then moved to LA. And I'm like, baby, come on, baby. You're not ugly, but you not know LA, right? You're not ugly, but you ain't LA. Like I'm gonna go where I can get in, okay? Mm. It is very hard. It is very hard. Oh my God, Big Mac. Don't say that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Listen, you done asked this about 5 times, baby. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in timeout. Because you can just go back and watch the video. Yep, Harry Hippie. Michelle Mitchell, this is the craziest part. Here in Austin, Texas, they just finished the moratorium March 1st. Now, before this, in December, they said, listen, if your tenant hasn't paid for 5 months, is you could do it because they didn't really want to get flooded. Like Houston didn't want to get flooded, Dallas didn't want to get flooded. Houston been evicting people, but Austin had held off. Can I tell you they were backed up so bad on the 2nd of March. They were like, y'all stop, figure it out. You're gonna have to work some of this stuff out. So it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. There are people that have not paid for 2 years. And when I drive around Texas, I see lots of 30-day tags on these cars, baby. Lots of 30-day tags. You can do that. Mhm. Mhm. You can do that. There's several jobs choices. She said, I'm seriously considering moving to Portugal or DR and buy some Listen, Portugal has been on my mind for a while now. But people moving to Portugal is folks running from crime. Like I noticed more Memphis and the Morning Invest dude moved out there. As soon as they were like, hey, we're gonna charge him with some crimes, he here and flew out there. He sold his house in New Jersey and was gone the next day. So Portugal has this, they don't extradite. There's some thoughts on that, but congratulations. Who? What happened? Something happened? I donate money here and there. Excuse me, y'all. Oh, you about to have to go down. Okay, helping or assisting implies a person. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Listen, the thing when people say there's no jobs, I get real tired of that. Oh, there's no jobs. There's no job. I'm like, oh, okay. I just ignore what they start saying. But yes, if you guys are going to be in the class that I have coming up, it is the let me copy here. Well, can I put it in the chat? Oh man. It's $27. It'll be live training on the 23rd and also um the 30th. 6 to 8 for 2 hours. We're gonna answer questions. We're gonna get y'all trained up on how to get y'all credit cleared off. It's $27. You can get it there. It's also in the description. I'm just telling y'all, like, ain't nobody licensing y'all up like this. I'm trying to give it as much away as possible because I just know where I was when I started and like knowing what I know now, it's people just gotta work on it. They are. They are dying very young. Thank you. It is. It's a really good one. The PO box. It's a really good one. It's a really good one. And like an adult showed me that. Listen, Andy builds house, build one to live while you build the others. I'm telling you, that's Andy. I'll be in Tampa. I'm gonna try to build one thing with Andy in Tampa, and then I'm gonna build the thing here in Temple. So we'll see how that goes. Listen, Mary, I can't want them. I mean, when someone says there's no jobs, and then there's thousands of openings on Indeed, I'm just like, okay, you're right. All of them. Plenty jobs on the internet. It's like, what are your skill sets? I mean, we talk about this and stuff every week. Melinda, this is a different one from what we have. This is just credit repair focus, credit building focus. If you were in last week's class, you got some a sample of what we're going to talk about in the credit class. That's up to you. I don't know. That's up to you. Yes, I will also teach on that. Yes. For sure, Tam. Like Tam, I'm gonna be in Tampa like probably 3, 4 times. If it gets moving like I think it's gonna get moving, I'm gonna probably stay there for 2 weeks in Tampa just to film a lot of the buildup of the property. So yeah. Listen, come on, tell them Santos Clutch. Controversial statement. There are jobs even in California. I made the most I've ever made when I moved out there, despite blacks in California narrative. Well, listen, there are black people in California, but they just weird. That's all. Like they out there, they just different. They be on a whole different vibe. Now, if you're a black person in LA, I've noticed a lot of black people in LA is just they doing what they doing. You'll pop up to support. Yeah, I mean, but I'll be in Tampa, so that's kind of part of it. Everybody in California weird. I know, right? When they say keep Boston weird, I'm like, when I was weird in California. Like I be making fun of AM1. I'd be like, why are you wearing a scarf in the summer? What are you doing? Like I just love messing with him because he's funny. Um, oh wow, congratulations for sure. But yeah, so again, it's about skill set. I mean, again, here's the thing. Meanwhile, in the studio, I'm not trying to argue with you. And the reason I'm doing this class, the reason I'm doing these trainings is 9 times out of 10, most people could go get a better job if they had a cushion window. This is why you have all these people talking, the American dream's dead, and they're whining about gig jobs and low income jobs, especially when I hear people from New York, Connecticut, New Jersey move south. Wow, these jobs ain't paying. No, you don't have no skills. This is just the facts. You don't have skills. You've always been a receptionist or a call center person. Guess what? A call center person don't make no money. No matter the city, no matter the state. If they can hire somebody in Belize for $12 an hour to do what you do, you're not getting paid a lot. So this ideal that you're gonna make all this money, listen, you can have a job, right? You can have a job. That's why people are moving to. This is why you have people moving to Texas with no plan. You can get a job, right? You can get a job. They just don't like the job choices because they don't have skills. Show me a plumber in any city that's struggling. Show me a welder, show me a nurse, show literally it just is not true. It's really exhausting when I hear it, and it's such a scarcity defeated mentality. It's a lot of black people on the internet like there ain't no jobs, ain't nobody trying to hire you. It's like really, it really starts with what kind of skills do you have? You leaving New York for a reason. You leaving the north for a reason. You running from city to city, and every city got no jobs. Come on, man. That never sounds logical. That's like every city got bad women. Every city got bad built women. Every city. Nah, man, that's you. That's where you going. That's you. Right? Whenever I hear people say there's no black people in the gym, every time I go to the gym in Round Rock, Pflugerville, it's full of black people. It's strange how we say there's no black people somewhere. I go walking in the park, it's full of black women in a city where we only 6%. It's really y'all perspective is shitty out here. That's really the truth. Nobody wants to talk about that part. Right? We majoring in the minor stuff. We're not majoring in the real stuff. This is why I'm doing this credit class. I mean, I'm basically giving it away for $27 because the fact remains I know a lot of people don't know how to fix their credit. They don't know how to get this crap off. They see people out here traveling and everything out their mouth is, "Oh, these people is sleeping with sugar daddies to get the flights." Man, these flights overseas ain't nothing but $400. If you got a credit card, you can go. Some of y'all is out here in dreamland. Oh, the average American ain't making no money. They ain't no jobs. Like, no, there's no jobs anywhere. Like, some of this stuff is exhausting when I hear it because I just know it comes from like a really crazy place. Like, you really talking crazy, right? It's not, and this is the big thing about when people talk about the American dream. There aren't any factory jobs. A bunch of them are in Dallas. There's like a million or something factory jobs in Dallas. Not a million, but you know what I'm saying, like 100,000, 300,000 factory jobs in Dallas. But if you in the factory industry, don't you think maybe I should do something outside this factory since factory's been going away for 40 damn years? Like, this is the stuff that don't make sense, right? And then we complain when Hispanic people come to this country and they know how to put some bricks together. Do you know how many men I meet from Detroit out here in Texas? Thousands. Like, literally, you go Google Detroit folks in Dallas. They got Facebook groups, they got Discord groups. You know why? Because they know how to do construction. The people that were in Detroit that knew how to do construction, they came down south and that's what they do here. The construction. Guess what? They got houses. They got cars. They live in well. That's why they're not running back and forth to Detroit, because they have a skill. Most of the black people you meet at these construction jobs in Texas, they don't even be Texans. They be from Ohio and Detroit and bricklayers from up north. So again, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, even though I did. This whole thing about jobs, you don't have skills that society needs. We don't need a bunch of men inside in air conditioned buildings making phone calls. We don't. We don't. We got plenty of women do that, and overseas folks. Do we need men who know how to do trades? Do we need men who are engineers? Do we need men who can do mechanical stuff indoors? Yes. Do we need medical staff? Yes. Do we need men who can climb up light poles and put together stuff? Yes. Now, but if you want to be a soft hand man doing soft, and I call it the soft hand man because that's what my grandpa used to say. You want to be indoors and do indoor stuff, you're gonna have to have a lot of skills to do that. That is like the American dream for folks now. It's like, do you work inside with some AC and condition and getting paid 80K a year? To do what? You gotta have the skill to do that. Like most women that work indoors don't make a lot of money. Receptionists don't make a lot of money. Apartment managers don't make a lot of money. Only two people inside the apartment building make a lot of money. That's the maintenance manager and the main manager. Chick-fil-A managers make some areas make 92,000 a year. Chipotle managers make 92,000 a year. Certain regions, not all. So when people sit here and go, ain't no jobs. Okay, well there's no job that's gonna pay you to just show up and do bare minimum. There's none of those anymore. Those are gone. Those are gone. Okay. But there are jobs out there. Now, part of what the problem is, your credit's bad. They can't even get your foot in the door. Okay. You can't even give yourself a break. I had Tim Jackson on talk about in Dallas how he had a credit card and it gave him a couple months to get his real estate business up off the ground. Now he's been in real estate for over 20 years. But people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that. It just is what it is. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been on a tangent for about 10 minutes. So let me see what y'all said in here. It can be done on the phone. There you go. $3 billion went to Huntsville, Alabama from the FBI and its tech jobs. Now you got to pass a security clearance. You can't be having a bunch of child support late on your credit. You can't be having a bunch of tax liens on your credit. You can't be having a bunch of late payments on your credit. Again, some of this stuff is credit based, common sense based. It just is what it is. Listen, Carolina Own is a credit repair. He knows these banks are tightening up. And even if you looked at when I sent y'all over to Andy builds how buys houses, look at how much it costs for them to buy the land, get the survey, get it started. Once you got it started, the hard money lenders are like, oh, here's the rest of the money you need. The smaller banks will go, here's the rest of the money you need to finish building this house, turn around and sell it. That's why they call it 100K pay. I'm not, I just can't want to do it. Hey, it is what it is, man. I can retire super early job. Yeah, I mean, you could. No skills. I mean, it just is what it is. Charity electrician, man, living the life. The top 3 exports of US is literally trash. Yeah. Manufacturing died a long time ago. Now, Dallas has a ton of manufacturing. I'm not going to front. But really, it's in that in parts of Michigan. But it's the connector pieces, right? It comes from Mexico. Dallas finishes putting it together, doing what they need to do. And Michigan brings it in from Canada. NAFTA killed that a long time ago. So when I hear people still talking about that, I be like, what? What? I know, I know. Listen, you listen to people from Florida, oh, it's extreme poverty because they want to work in tourism and go to the beach every weekend. Okay. Diamond Dave did a whole video on that. A lot of people's most aspiration is to get a bare basic bones job where they can do bare minimum, just show up, call and be on Facebook all day, leave and have the best weekend of their lives and also have vacations. I mean, I mean, it just that's a lot. You asking a lot. You asking a lot, and then you also got to think a lot of people aren't married. They don't have a partner to help them pay these bills, and they don't got a plan. So, no, we gonna have a ton of more men become podcasters before this thing's over. I promise you. That's the scary part. Go be a teacher. I'm telling you. Listen, my mom from the military, 26 years in the military, multiple MOSs, injured, all this other stuff. She gets a six-figure retirement. That's rare. It's rare. Even she, when she talks to her other veteran friends, they don't get as much of her as retirement. And then you just got to be smart about how you use your retirement. You don't get the biggest house you can get. You don't get the biggest car you can get. This stuff is real crazy. Hey, listen, I always can learn more. Let me see what else y'all got so I can close this out. And I'm losing my voice. It's hurting. We need landscapers in Florida. Notaries make. Listen, there's a guy in Andre Hatchett's course. Notary, good looking black man, good looking wife. I'm not disrespecting him. He literally made 125,000 in notaries the other year. I mean, it's insane. Tam posts jobs every day. There are several people. Like I'm literally gonna go to Afrotech this year just to show you about the stuff job. I mean, it is what it is. Do you think the rules of those living in extended stays will change? Hey, Howard, that was part of what I saw. No, and extended stays don't help you get to the next level. Extended stays are just enough. If you think about it, extended stays are $399 a week or $400 a week. If you do the math, this person could qualify for an apartment, but they spend all their money on the weekly stay, so they never have enough money to do what? Pay the first rent and a deposit. So they're not going to cover them though. Actually, yes, our family's actually created over 15 jobs. I created over 25 jobs in the past 4 years. So, yes, and American jobs that pay well. I had a guy on staff. He's retired. He's gone now, but I paid that dude 75K a year. This is the manager. I paid another dude 52,000. Yes, created jobs. If I was really thinking, I would have got. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna do. I would have created a collection agency and hired two people to work the phones. I really would have, because it's just so cheap and lucrative. For sure, I'll keep people abreasted of them down now. Thank you. I just paid for my spot in class in Portugal. All right, Levante Snell, and I'm telling you, like, I'm gonna do all I can inside the class. Bring your questions and be ready, because I just know I know people are gonna be experiencing a credit crunch, and I've been talking about it, and people are like, "Oh, Ericka," and I'm like, "The credit's really for y'all to use it to get where you're trying to go," but people don't think about it like that. Oh, honey, yeah, it's gonna be bad. And Mexico is getting very nationalist. Mexico is pretty much closing the borders around itself. They're like, we ain't exporting no gas, we ain't exporting no wheat. Ukraine, why did Russia go after Ukraine? They have huge wheat expo. Like, there's so much to this I could go break down, but what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to circle the wagon around their country, and your country's going to have to be a producer. That's just is what it is. People in the country. There's a reason everybody that's well traveled and work in real estate be like, there's a reason we're all hopping in real estate. It's a tangible asset. People always need somewhere to live. You can always lower the rent if have to. And then if you can lower the rent, you can always do rent to own with people. There's a lot of ways to make stuff work. Navy Federal, that was a play a couple years ago. It's not the play anymore. There's like several other banks that are the play right now. Interesting, yeah. Listen, America's not really ready for what global remote work really looks like. Office workers will learn about it in the coming decade. Philippines and India have 20-year lead on developing industry. They really do. And I keep telling y'all the reason I did Tech Tuesdays for so long is because, and I'm gonna go there. Black people and Latino people sometimes are like the last to the game. Like, oh shit, let me get the credit cards. Let me do this. Let me do the travel. Like, if you look at the credit card game on YouTube, it's all Asians and white dudes. All of a sudden, you got black dudes and Latino dudes lately going, hey, look, credit cards. When it's been, going for 10 years now, right? Um, um, Same thing with tech. When I saw the news and Kamala was like, we need half a million, half a million, 500,000 Indians to come here and get these tech jobs. I was like, wait a minute. Don't we got Americans that need work? Why do we need half a million Indian folk here? And I knew right then and there, I said, y'all, it's about to lock you out. That's why I did Tech Tuesday for a year. I'm gonna do some more Tech Tuesdays this year. I'm gonna try to do some kind of event when Afro Tech is here in Austin, which it should be here in Austin, because we are Silicon Valley of the South. But I'm telling y'all, I'm like, y'all, like the people getting a bag in tech right now are obnoxious. There are people walking around getting 185 and complaining about it. I remember this guy at our church used to make 250 and was like, "Oh, I'm so concerned I'm gonna lose my job." And we're like, "You make 250 a year. What more do you need? Invest the rest. You're good." But you got to understand that's Austin's different from everywhere else. I can drive down to San Antonio in Converse, Texas, and brand new construction is $240,000, $210,000. Here in Austin, that's 450 to half a million dollars. And people are like, "Oh, it's over. Austin's overpriced." No, it's not. We're giving people crazy wages to come here to the city, so they're going to be here. Most of the people you run into are business owners, independent workers, and work outside of the norms. The incomes are ridiculous here. The men you meet look at you crazy when they be like, "What do you do?" Like, "Oh, I work from home." Okay, they don't even give a damn. You know why I don't care? Because they make their own money. That's it. They don't care because they make their own money. They ain't care about no 50-50 and all this other weird conversation. They're like, "Girl, please." The last two engineers I dated was like, "Look, I'm gonna pay the mortgage. You can pay them other bills." And like hand dismiss me. Like, okay, going over there. Because it's a level of money that's different. So people really aren't ready when America's really, really opened back up this summer. They're not ready. That's why everybody's like, "Oh, I can't wait for the housing to crash." These foreclosures are going up. Look where the foreclosures are going up in the Midwest, in New York, in California. They're not going anywhere in the Southeast. Anybody with half a brain know, okay, I'm about to lose my house. Let me go ahead and sell this bad boy. They're not going to have them down here. Uh, there you go. Yep. Notaries cannot have a felony. They really are. Benzino. What? Send me that link, somebody. I want to see that. Y'all, I'm getting worn down. Let me finish this out. Certain jobs are only meant for high schools and college students. You're not supposed to be an adult waitress or waiter. I know a few ladies that's what they did their whole life up north, Connecticut, certain parts like the little small beach towns. So some people do that their whole life. It's not meant to. Not like a ton of people, but people do, unfortunately. Ooh, bring that to class. We'll break it down. Bring that to class. Come on into class and we'll break it down about real estate. I don't mind talking and telling whatever in there because a lot of times people don't understand. Thank you. I appreciate it, y'all. Thank you so much, Dr. Dix. Let's come back through and let's talk. Not this Tuesday coming up, but the Tuesday after. What's up, Dr. Dix? Thank you for the $20 super chat. You have a VA in Jamaica. Look, see, come on. Come on. Yeah, it's just about valuing my time and how much time I have. Um, you know, when y'all are dating people and people work 9 to 5, like after 5 o'clock is not I don't want to do live streams when I can go eat dinner with somebody. I'll put it that way, if that's the nice way to say it. I'm gonna go eat dinner with somebody and I'm gonna go enjoy my afternoon. I don't feel like doing live streams. Like, it is what it is. Yep. Yep. Come on in town. We're gonna do something. Thank you, Ro. Listen, people be cheating getting all them remote work. I saw IT security camp starting pay in Charlotte is 100K. Listen, and people be in North Carolina crying about rent. And North Carolina got a research triangle where they are literally importing people from here to go to North Carolina. I remember this guy was like, "Oh, I have this job in Houston and I offer in North Carolina." I said, "Well, what's the difference?" He's like, "Oh, they're only paying me 130 in North Carolina. They're paying me 150 in Houston." I said, "Well, shit, the house in North Carolina is 150." Now, this is years ago. It's about 4 years ago. I said, "You're going to get a house in North Carolina for 150 for a bedroom, big. They don't need to pay you that much." And so that's when I want to see people, Edward Anderson's in Raleigh. I'm like, you don't have to work at a call center everywhere. You could go work in tech and make a lot of money. It's a choice. People are choosing. Yep. hmm Diesel mechanics. Listen, diesel mechanics are going to be 150,000 people short. So again, I'm not just doing a tech only. There's also blue collar men folk. Like, if you want to be a diesel mechanic, honey, they're gonna be 150,000 short. I met a woman who they had they've got like 20 what do you call them, bays, and she's in Washington DC, Washington the state. They're so desperate they let her convert to a school. So she's running a real actual semi truck repair place and a school at the same time because we're going to be 150,000 diesel mechanics short. That's why when you see Elon Musk, all these people trying to convince them to do these trucks, these automated trucks, there's a reason. We're going to be short of men who do stuff with their hands. And I told you the only choices are going to be us for us to either immigrate like 3 million men from Africa and India and all these places who can fix stuff, or we're going to have a bunch of men go back to work. I think Aaron Cleary did a video that a bunch of men are going to go back to trades. They really are going to have to go back to trades. It's going to be the only work that pays well. And you're going to say, well, who's going to pay for all this work? Companies. Companies that own the trucks, the JB Hunts, the government contracts. That's who's paying for this work, right? Same thing when it comes to housing. People say, well, who's going to fix and pay for this house? And trust me, money sprinkled down. It'll be people paying for the house. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the class. Yeah, NYC. Yeah, NYC was Ben going to get them. Thank you, Scorpio Ferreira. They really do. Steakhouses usually do have adults who are do this for years. Oh wow, that's crazy. He calls it the end replacement investment plane. The other day, he showed me a company that creates bathroom cleaning bots. Yeah, I'm telling you, like people about to find out. People about to find out. Welcome to Afrotech. We'll see you there. Listen, congratulations. Also, Black Heights channel. He works in sales and tech. Crazy. Women can do all kind of trades. I'm not just, I'm not just talking about that. Oh, all the people at the border? I don't know. The Real Estate Trapper. What's up? Hey, Real Estate Trapper, let's do a live talking about foreclosures of housing and like housing prices, because I want to do a whole video with you because I know several people who are like, I'm not buying any houses. They haven't bought property since 2018. And then I talked to them this past week. They're like, I wish I'd have kept buying because you can never time the market. So if y'all want that video with me and Real Estate Trapper, let me know. Drop a 1 in the comments. Calm mind, go watch the over 40 videos we have of Tech Tuesdays. Pick any of those people. They can train you. Man, that Sam's Club ain't playing with y'all. They ain't playing with y'all either. If you know how to fix stuff, you'll never be out. Listen, I told you when I was in Detroit last time, I said they're going to spend the next 30 years reshaping the city. Demoing stuff, taking stuff apart, reshaping it. If you know how to do any of those kind of fixing, you will always have work. Listen. And people are like, oh, it's going to be a recession. It's going to be a recession. What you're going to see in America is this third world country living of a lot of people living in trailers, living in poor areas. Whatever goes on over there goes on over there. Security, cops, whatever. And then you're gonna see people over here living like, go look up the lagoon in Frisco, Texas. The kids are driving golf courses around the neighborhood. Like every house is $700,000 to $1 million. And then when they had a credit crunch, a lot of houses dropped back down to 700,000. But you're talking about, I'm talking about Terry size houses. I'm talking about 4 bedrooms, mother-in-law suite with an extra little bedroom den over there, backyard, lagoon pool. It's gonna be 2 different Americas. It's gonna be 2 different Americas. And then even if you're a woman making a lot, and people are like, oh, these men ain't attracted to women who make a lot of money. Listen to me. People gonna get in where they fit in. If your husband's a nurse, your husband doing something that's decent, he gonna just be like, all right, okay, let's get in where we fit in. Like y'all keep acting like people's number one motive in life is not survival. Y'all keep saying these things that I know are not true. Oh, well, Ben, listen, you can get a lot of that stuff off if it's medical. There is a Calendly link you can book. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you, my Calendly went back up. I'll see if I do a sale this week. Right now, sessions are like $500 for 30 minutes because my voice just goes out. I had some calls this week. I felt bad for them because I was like basically straining to talk. Yep. Let me know. Let me know if you want to come on. Not tonight, but like email the staff. All right, y'all. I gotta finish out. 1 mil is a new 100,000. 100,000 is not impressive anymore, nor should be anybody's goal. You can't live well anywhere for 100K. You gotta step up. If the truth is, if most people make 30,000, if they double their income to 70, even better, right? Like they're gonna live better. It's just, or how many people gonna do it, right? So, and I think some of the frustration in our community and society is, this guy said, women don't care if a man's broke; they care if he's comfortable with being broke. And that's kind of what I see with the "I give up on the American dream" videos. Like I want to do bare minimum and live well. And it's like, hey, that ain't that ain't what it do. That's not what it do. Yeah, not my problem. Yeah. Frozen in time. Listen, can you still come to America and start a business and live the dream? Yeah. Every week I go to these conferences, I go to these events. I literally meet people who had a 20K credit card and paid for somebody to run the ads and got the phones working and got a dude to do the fulfillment. I meet it every time I'm in Dallas. It's not uncommon. And that's what a lot of immigrants come here to do. They come, they start a business, and as long as you keep your cash flow and your credit line straight, you're good. And a lot of y'all gonna learn that's what's about to happen out here. Y'all not gonna see, thinking you just gonna have one job and you go home on 5 o'clock and you don't care what happens at the company. If you're at a company and you're not bringing in sales, revenue, money, honey, it's gonna be hard for them to keep you. That's just where our economy is going. And so I don't want you stressing out, but I realize a lot of people, when we talk about flights to Africa and going overseas, people act like this is a phenomenon. They can't. How are y'all affording this? The other week I talked to this woman and she was saying how how she's never traveled outside of Texas. And I looked at this woman like she had 3 heads. I said, "How you ain't never left Texas? Like it's $200 to go to Mexico from Houston, if that. It's $100 flight to Chicago. It's $100 flight to just about anywhere. You can go to Colorado for $74 with Frontier out of Boston. You know what I'm saying? So when I see stuff like this, um, it kind of blows my brain because I'd be like, these people don't even have $100 to fly to Colorado for 2 days. That's third world living. If you can't leave your state, and you already know only like 10% of black people got like passports. So all these people talking they make 6 figures, they ain't got a passport. Baby, where you gonna go if something go left? Educators and police and firefighters are making money. Teachers in New York make 104,000. Not all, but a lot. Police officers get overtime all the time. Now, if you mess up, you're not gonna get that overtime. My cousin fell asleep one time driving a police car. They took all his overtime away. He went from making 100,000 as a police officer to making 45,000 the next year because he could not get any overtime because he fell asleep in a police car. It depends on what city and state you in. and they give lots of incentives. They give hero mortgage loans. So you can be a police officer and get a home for no money down. There's a lot of stuff out there for people. So a lot of people are trying to act like they don't know, but they're going to find out. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, my voice is going down. I'm going down myself. I'm going to go lay down on this couch. Y'all know I came back from Africa and I just had like, I don't know, I had the flu and it was kicking me down. I was like, Jesus, help us. Get up. So this is your girl Ericka, Classic Blog. Hope to see you in the class on Wednesday. Email list is going to go out so we can kind of get where some of y'all are going, what you need. Because my goal is to get as many people that are classy climbers to really be doing something. A lot of people out here on YouTube is out here stunting for the gram and showing y'all Porsches and cars. And I don't care about none of that mess. You know what I mean? Because that doesn't change your life. I know DJ the Money Coach is going to Zanzibar late August. I don't know if I'm going to be on that one, but we're going to see. And I'll keep it up. Listen, like when people tell me they don't have no opportunity in Dallas, I already know they live in a really crappy part of Dallas and they don't really go far. But they stay on that phone knowing how to TikTok. You know, your grandparents be like, "You on that phone all the time." That's how I'm starting to be with adults. If you a grown adult and you ain't never left Dallas, you ain't never been to Fort Worth, you ain't never drove across town, you complain about a lack of jobs, lack of stuff. I already know what you do on your phone all day. BS. Arguing about nothing. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. The fact that I could be in Africa and said I was from Texas, and they're like, Texas, Dallas? They knew cities in Texas, in Africa, on an island. These, America got some good ass marketing. They not stupid. They were like, Dallas? I was like, no, not Dallas, Austin. They didn't know where that was. But there were people on the trip that were from Houston and Austin, and they were from Dallas. They were like, Dallas. They knew that part. So, I mean, again, figure it out, y'all. Figure it out. All right, you guys. I'm exhausted. Gotta go lay down. All right, you guys. Later. We do have the best PR. The best.